2016 to 2026. That's 10 years. Instagram had this interesting topic where they shared 2016 was the last year one, and then 2026 is the new year one, because 2025 was year 9, was the last in the cycle. As well as we just finished up the year of the snake. It was a wood snake, and February 17th will be the start of the fire horse lunar calendar year. I bring this up because it provoked me to go online and look at where I was in 2016 and do a carousel of posts. And what I found was fascinating in the growth, what's happened in just 10 years, and it blows my mind away on what happened. So I thought I would share that today. I'm Alicia Soikawa, empowered woman, and I am a realtor, a mom, a speaker, a business coach, a YouTuber, all the things, a beauty enthusiast, a dog mom. I'm also a girl. I'm just a girl too. And I just turned 50 in November, and I love to share things that have helped me get empowered and grow to the next level. And I thought this is a perfect thing to share, as that we're going into this new year of, evolution and change and hopefully momentum with the fire horse, because last year was a tough year. It's a tough year for a lot of people, including myself. It was a year of challenge, breaking down, building back up, and seeing what is really for me and not for me anymore. And so that's why I'm so excited to share this video today. So let's go back to 2016. 2016, I had just been in the business a little over a year and a half, and I got my license in 2014. And at that time, of course, little Rain was not even here yet. And I'm going to show my holiday picture. This is our family now, and this is the holiday card. What's a New Year's card? So you can see our little family now. Here it is. Anyways, there's our little puppies. There's Candy and Ken. And 2016 was an interesting year. I ended up the year doing quite well in business, and we went to Las Vegas as a family. We took a nanny. We were doing business. I opened my business account. I was starting my team. All was going great. And it's funny because I went back and looked at some of these professional pictures back from 2016. I was laughing because I noticed all the changes, and there wasn't enough ability to add enough pictures to talk about all the changes in my life. And I thought, oh, this would be kind of cool to do that, right? That would be kind of a cool thing to do that now. And what happened in 2016 was I ended up doing a lot of business. I think I was top 30 at Long & Foster. I won a bunch of awards. We were doing I was a Girl Scout troop leader. Business was going well. I was developing friendships. I was getting more acclimated in the real estate world and being a business owner, and I loved it. But I was working literally 24 hours a day nonstop. We didn't really take breaks, really didn't go on a ton of vacations. My kids were really young at that time. I was just trying to do all of the things, right? Do all the things. Then coming into 2017, which is interesting, I found out that I was pregnant with Rain, and she was a little bit of a surprise baby for us. And I was shocked, and I was excited and shocked, and I thought to myself, how am I going to do this business? How am I going to do this? Like, we don't have health insurance the way we did when I was in corporate. I was really scared about what that meant, and the unknown there was really terrifying. So that was year 2. I had a team at that time. I hired my first full-time assistant, which ended up being a disaster. Very challenging, needless to say. But had the baby, and also that was the year when I was pregnant. Clover had her first seizure. And so we went to the hospital, and I'm ashamed to say that I actually left her hospital room to go do a showing. That still sticks with me today. It was probably in February at that time. I was newly pregnant. I just thought, I cannot lose these people, because I was a breadwinner at that time, and I was really scared to say no, to tell them, like, I can't, my daughter's in the hospital. And this is what incredible man Michael is. Like, he said, go, I got it. Go do the showing. I got it. And I feel like I failed. I feel like I failed in that moment, because I should have said no. I should have said, hey, my daughter's in the hospital. I would love to come, but can we do it another day? And I didn't. And I feel really disappointed that I made that decision at that time, and looking back at it. And I think that's probably what makes me a great coach now, because I know now I would never do that. Like, that would never happen now. But that was me newer in the business. And so I understand when agents kind of struggle with that piece. So fast forward, I have the baby. She's adorable. She's beautiful. I wanted to take some time because I was just exhausted. And while I was pregnant, one of my team agents decided to quit. That was really hard. And then I came back and realized my assistant really wasn't a good fit, and had to let him go. And that was really rough as well. And I kind of retracted a little bit at that time. I kind of went into this hermit mode. And then unfortunately my business really stalled, and I saw the effects of what happens when you stop prospecting and you stop calling and stop reaching out. And so I freaked out, of course. divorce and went back into full work mode. And that time period, I kind of went for it. And let me backtrack again too. Back in 2016, I was able to buy my first luxury car. I bought a BMW X5, which was always a dream of mine. I always had like a company car or like a Honda Civic. And I'll never forget that feeling of having the ability to purchase something that I worked really hard for, and that it was also a business right off because it weighed a certain amount. So it was just exciting. And I wanted to point that out, that these were like little milestones that popped back in my head while I was looking at these pictures that reminded me about how far I've come in life. And I just thought that was pretty amazing. And then, 2018 and 2019 were really building years for me. I grew the team. I was doing more business, having difficulties in business and balancing. There was some struggle with, balancing a toddler and a baby and kids and marriage and all the things that came in between, and in between health challenges with our kids and all the things happening. Then I got the diagnosis. In 2019, through the urging of my dear friend, I went and got a mammogram done, and sure enough, breast cancer. So that kind of rocked my world. And I look back now, and it's probably the biggest blessing could have happened to me, because had that not happened, I don't think I would have slowed down. I think I would have worked myself into the grave in another way. And I think God does amazing things to, to tell you how to live your life. Oprah said that a long time ago. I was obsessed with her when I was younger. She said, sometimes you'll get a pebble, and if you don't pay attention, you'll get a rock. And if you don't pay attention, you get a boulder. And eventually, it's so big you can't ignore it. Well, this was the boulder. And before this point, there were things that are happening that were so cool to me. Like, I got to meet Mel Robbins at a book signing and hear her speak early on. I got to have dinner and spend time with Gary Vaynerchuk. I got to meet Ryan Serhant. I mean, there were all these cool things happening while this was going on in building that I didn't even think about. When that happened to me, I was it kind of just took the wind out of me, and it was in complete shock, because I was super healthy, eating organic, don't have any predecessors in that family line. Nobody in my family has it. It just boggled my mind when that happened. It was such a weird thing, but we addressed it. We moved forward. I ended up getting a double mastectomy with reconstruction, and I hit it. I kind of hit it. I didn't post about it. I didn't share about it. We didn't want the kids to freak out. Sebastian was on the spectrum and much younger, and I didn't want him to get freaked out, thinking that I was going to pass away, because everyone we had known that had gone through it passed away. And I just thought that would be a horrible thing for a kid to have. I got through the surgery, had multiple surgeries because I went into sepsis, and all these crazy things were happening. And fast forward, ended up going to a Rachel Hollis conference where her husband spoke, and he has since passed away. And I got to see Ed Milet and all these keynote speakers, Brendan Burchard on there, that I never would have seen. It's kind of crazy when that happens. Things kind of come in your way and kind of fall in your place. My coach at that time suggested I interview and try to apply to be a coach, because of all that I'd experienced and gone through in the business, that I would be a great coach. And I applied and went through this whole process and got selected, and went through the process and got selected, and went through trainings, and was going through surgeries at the same time. And then the world shut down. It was 2020. And I look at these pictures and I go, oh my God, 2020, remember how crazy that was? But it was a welcome solace for me, because I had my last surgery, but the business was so crazy. So I just did the business, but I didn't have to do the extra stuff. So I actually got to rest in the evenings and have time. And I found that to be such an interesting time period in our life. And that we came back, and I went into coaching, and I hired another assistant, and I started going. It was gangbusters, busy, grew this team. Then went and had my own brokerage. And then I stumbled upon Unleash the Power with Tony Robbins. And this is what's so crazy, is that I knew about Tony Robbins. I'd always wanted to go to his conference, but I didn't think the opportunity would ever arise. And the timing just wasn't right. But the timing was perfect, because I was just starting out this accountability group on Saturday mornings. And these women, since then, we've been talking every Saturday morning, and we've brought on different women, and they've been my lifeline. They've been my refuge. The synchronicities of life. We've read, I don't know how many books we've read, probably 100 books at least together, all different spirituality, business, you name it, just everything. I went to Unleash the Power, and it ended up becoming a platinum partner, and I'm going into my 3rd year with that. And what's so crazy about this journey is that from 2022, 23 to 2026, the last 3 years, it's been literally a hockey stick up of growth, change, challenge, interesting things happening. It's been going on crazy speed. And there's so many in the last 3 years, doing relationship with Michael and us redefining our marriage several times, and we've had so many struggles. It's normal. Everyone married has had stuff. We've been together almost 30 years. You can only imagine, if you've in a relationship, how many challenges and difficulties you go through. So I'm not going to blow smoke and and say there wasn't any, because there was definitely stuff. And many, many times we could have split up, but we didn't. And, you know, we're still in the same home that we've been in since 2011. It needs work, but we have a rental property now, something I'd always dreamed to do. I'm part of a JV. I always thought about that. I'm part of a rev share company now, trying to build this. And it's not what I thought it was going to be. And then I became a pranic healer. I got certified and so many crazy things. And now I'm doing YouTube, like something I'd never in a million years thought I'd be doing. And so I share this because I'm so excited going into 2026. We're year one again. And I'm so curious by 2036, what I'm going to be able to say then, right? What am I going to be saying when I have just turned 60? What is the conversation going to be? What is the video going to be then? And I didn't go over every little thing because there's so many things. I've gone to more countries in the last couple of years. Finally went to Canada, went to Thais, went to Croatia this last year, and flew through Amsterdam. So technically I went to Amsterdam because I got there, and gone to Mexico several times. And before then I had never gone to Mexico, which is so crazy. Went to Tulum and got to see those caves underneath and ziplined, and have done so many things now. I canyoned down a mountain. I've done things that I never thought I would do. I've walked on fire more than 4 times, you know, done Date with Destiny, every single event. I've met incredible people, incredible friends that do incredible things. I've spoken on national stages, international stages. I've been featured. I've been a speaker now. That was one of my dreams, to be a speaker, and doing all those things. And it's just crazy how, you know, you say what you want, it kind of tends to come, is what's so crazy. And I think that we don't realize as humans what's possible. And we sometimes limit ourselves because we just, I don't know why we do that. It's such a strange thing. I thought about that the other day. Why do we make it small? Why do we make it just enough? And I think if anything that's happened in the last few years, it's taught me to not have fear. I have some uncertainty now. There's things that are not as going as well as I want them to go. For some reason, I don't have panic. I used to have this thing in my stomach that was like this pit. And now instead I just kind of go, I'm leaning into it and saying like, it'll be what it'll be. And it'll all be fine. And so I challenge you to think about that as we're going into this 2026 year one, that maybe this next decade will be the best ever, and to allow this momentum here to carry you to this next amazing stage. And that's kind of how I see it. But I thought that would be a cool share for you. And again, I'm Alicia SoCal there in Pemberton. I would love to know your thoughts on your last 2016 to 2026. Was it also the same for you, or was it crazy the whole time, or was it busier in the beginning and not the end? I'm curious what that journey has been for you. If you like this video, I love a thumbs up or a subscribe button or share. And if you have any other topics I could address that would help you with empowerment, I'd love to talk with you. And of course, if you're in real estate or have any desire to real estate, check out my other channel, Agent Empowered. Till next time.